Hello, this is Patrick Tycoon Jones here. Today's episode is all about procrastination leading to stagnation, and I know none of my tycoons want that for themselves. So if you're lazy, get out, exit the video. But if you want to be about something, let's get ready to rock and roll. Hello, Patrick Tycoon Jones here. Today's episode is about procrastination leading to stagnation. I know none of you want that, so that's why you're listening to the video. Number one, how are you spending your time today? Are you on Xbox when you know you should be studying or reading about the business that you want? Are you eating Cheetos or, sitting down snacking when you know you should be hitting the gym? Are you sitting down drinking alcohol when you know you should be drinking water? Are you doing the things today that your future self are going to thank you for? If you're not, then guess what you're doing? You're procrastinating. And, a lot of people like to start on the new year. I'm going to have a new year resolution. I'm going to, wait until the new year to hit the gym and get my physique together so I can feel good. Or I'm going to wait until the new year so I can enroll in college instead of now. What is wrong with now, folks? Why do we all have to wait until, there's some time in the future that's right for us instead of choosing what's right for us today? That's what this is about. If you understand, if you choose a decision today and you continue to choose decisions that are going to positively impact your life, guess what's going to happen in 3 months from now, a year from now? You're going to create the version of you that you want, and you're going to create the life for you that you want, but you have to choose now. So if you're not spending your time wisely today, this minute, when you're listening to this particular episode, then once you're done with this episode, you need to choose what you want out of life that's going to positively impact you. Next, do you make a daily agenda? Do you have one? If you don't, go to your local CVS, your local Walgreens, Walmart, Target, wherever you frequent, get a notebook. Get one of those little daily planner notebooks. I have one. It's a red one. And write your stuff down, what it is that you want to achieve today. Because guess what happens? Then you'll get into what we call a habit of choosing the right things. And then once that habit is formed, it's second nature. You're going to always choose the right thing, or at least you're going to be close to always choosing the right thing that benefits you, your family, your life, your work, whatever it may be, okay? But you must make your agenda. Next, have you identified what's important to you in life, in a relationship, and in your career? What is it, folks? I just recently did this exercise where, I wrote down what I want in my relationship, what I want in my marriage, what I want in my career. How am I trying to positively impact people, right? What is it that I'm trying to do? What am I bringing to the marketplace? You have to define that stuff. If you don't have that defined, then guess what you're doing? You're just talking. That's really all you're doing. And you're not putting anything into action. But if you sit down and you start writing it out, then you can start acting on it. And once you start acting on it, then guess what's going to materialize? The life that you wanted. Period. Okay? So that's something that you have to do. You have to identify what's important to you in life, in your relationship, and in your career. If you haven't done that, do it, folks. Okay? Take one of those pages in your daily planner, dedicate it for that particular exercise. I'm giving you homework, but this homework is going to impact your life. Next, do you overanalyze? I know I do. And it's not positive. Sometimes it can be positive, though. Sometimes, right? If you utilize it in certain situations where it needs to be analyzed and you need to look at every angle that could potentially come at you, in business, things of that nature, it's good. To overanalyze in a relationship, though, with your significant other, your husband and your wife, that's horrible. You got to just listen to them. You got to sit down, have the difficult conversations, understand how to not argue, right? But, some arguing is healthy, especially when it's done in a positive manner and it's civil, okay? So it's more of a debate at that point than an argument. But at the end of the day, never, ever overanalyze, because when you do overanalyze, what's going to end up happening is the destruction of whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in a relationship. But from a business perspective, just don't get stuck in, I overanalyze, and it causes me not to take any action. Okay, that's when overanalyzing is negative. Next, do you celebrate the small victories? That's something that's extremely important. And that was one of those things that I overlooked. I had a meaningful conversation here recently. And in that conversation, I was actually, I'm going to use this term, but it's more metaphorically, I was in the driver's seat. I was in the passenger seat, not the driver's seat. And the person that was sitting there talking to me, they said, you have to celebrate yourself. You have to celebrate the things that you're doing. There's other people out there looking at you and they're like, man, this dude is doing big stuff. And here I am, or here I was, sitting back just like downplaying it. Like, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, whatever. But at the end of the day, I got to celebrate myself. I got to celebrate the things that I'm doing, right? It's all positive stuff. And if you don't celebrate the small victories, then how are you going to celebrate the big victories? And stop downplaying your success, folks, just to make other people feel good. Stop doing that. I did that for years. I didn't even know how to celebrate myself in the things that I was doing. I was always around people that I had to downplay my success. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to make them feel bad. But at the end of the day, how do I make myself feel good? So there's nothing wrong. You're not going to boast. You're not going to brag. But there's nothing wrong with talking about your successes. What's wrong with that? And if people don't like hearing that, then you're around the wrong people, period. Right? You need to change your audience. Simple as that. Next, do you seek advice from others who haven't achieved what you're attempting to achieve? Folks, I cannot express this enough. Grant Cardone said it the best. He said, if I want to learn how to be a billionaire, I can't have a conversation with a millionaire. Think about that, folks. Some people may think about that and be like, whoa, well, I can't believe he said that. But there's truth in that. If you want to become a billionaire, why in the hell are you going to talk to a millionaire? They don't know how to be a billionaire, right? If you want to talk to someone that has about a relationship, you should be talking to people that have a successful relationship. Females, males. If you're talking to people about a relationship and you're trying to work this relationship out, and you're talking to your boys and your girls that have had multiple negative relationships, the only thing that they can teach you is how to have a negative relationship. Okay? So just understand that. Be careful who you sit down and you listen to. That's extremely important because people will spin you every which way. And then next thing you know, you'll be like the scarecrow on The Wizard of Oz, not knowing what to do. Okay? Next, are you honest with yourself? You have to have real conversations and honesty with yourself. If you don't, the worst person that you could lie to is the person in the mirror. Period. If you're not having real conversation with yourself, then what are you doing, folks? Right? The worst thing to waste is yourself. So if you're not being truthful with yourself, if you're not living in your truth, then what are you doing? You're wasting time. You're wasting time with yourself. You're wasting time with those around you. And that's not beneficial for anyone. So minimally, and I mean this, minimally, have real conversations with yourself. That's a must. Next, do you seek constructive criticism? If you're not doing that, then you're not really trying to learn and you're not really trying to prosper. I remember when I was pitching, right? And I wanted to so bad be a six-figure player, right? I wanted to get out of the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s and $90,000, and I wanted to be a six-figure player. Well, I ended up becoming a six-figure player at the age of 25 going into 26. I remember the year before that, I had made $45,000 and I had a family, kids. I started crying, you all, because I knew I couldn't, as a man, take care of my family. And this is real talk. I literally started crying. When I saw my W-2, I saw it was $45,000. I was like, man, this is ridiculous. So guess what I did? I got serious about my profession and my craft, okay? And as a result of being serious about my profession and my craft, and I was a professional salesperson, which means I have to pitch, I was seeking everyone for constructive criticism. I was pitching my kids. I was pitching myself in the mirror. I was like, hey, look, a coworker, listen to this pitch real quick. Tell me what you think. I didn't care what it was or who it was. I was pitching my dog. I didn't care. Whoever would listen, I'm pitching. And then guess what? The very next year, at the end of the year, when I got my W-2, I went from $45,000 to $109,000. And that was 25 to 26 years old. Folks, the point of this is you have to seek constructive criticism and your teachability index has to be high. If you're not where you want to be, you need to learn. Okay? Next, do you take action or do you wait on the last minute? Procrastination. If you're waiting on the last minute to take action, you're going to eventually miss the 8 ball, or as Kanye says, the rocket ship. Once it blasts off, you're going to miss the rocket ship. You're going to miss your time. So you got to always be there. You got to always take action early. You know, me, early on, when I was going into the office in my 20s, I was always the first one there and the last one to leave. And guess what? I wasn't going out for lunches. I was literally taking brown bag lunches. I was going into a professional job, corporate America, Fortune 500 company. I kid you not. Fortune 500 company with a brown bag. And I was there early and I would always be the last person. I remember there was a individual and it was a lady. And she asked me, how come you're still here at 7 p.m. and you got here at 8 a.m.? I said, because I'm trying to be the best. And this is a corporation where people are bailing right at 5:30. You know, some people who want to be overachievers leave at 6 p.m. I'm here at 7 p.m. still hustling. Because I had a point to prove. I'm not procrastinating. I'm taking action right now. And that's what helped me get into the 6 figures. It was a momentum thing. Next, what's your future self look like? And what are your achievements? And what are you looking to accomplish? Again, what's your future self look like? What are your achievements? And what are you looking to accomplish in life? These things are important for you to define. If you're not defining these things, then how in the hell do you know where you're going? How? Like how? You're just wishing on a star, on a fallen star at that point. And if you haven't heard that particular episode, go back and listen to it. But you're just wishing on a fallen star. You're just going through life, right? Aloof. And how do you get to a destination when you don't even have a destination? So define these things. I'm going to say it again. What's your future self look like? What are your achievements? And what are you looking to accomplish? Okay? Please define those things. And this, honestly, this particular episode, I'm giving you homework, but I'm giving you meaningful homework that's going to help create and shape shift the life that you want. And last but not least, fly above the sheep and those with no purpose in life. Folks, this is a hard one. This is a really, really hard one. But if you want the life that you want, you are going to have to Spend less time with those who are going through life aloof with no purpose, okay? Because birds of a feather flock together, and you do not want that to rub off on you. You don't want that energy to rub off on you. Because if you know, like I know, you know that energy is transferable. And if you're not hanging around people that are talking about, hey, how do we get to, 100,000? How do we get to 1 million? How do we get to 10 million? How do we get to 25 million? How do we get to 50 million? If you're not having these conversations, how do we get to 100 million? If you're not having these conversations, then what are you doing? That's if you want to be a tycoon. Because I know when I'm sitting down, with people in my circle, we're having these conversations. We're having these conversations that, hey, look, how do we go out and invest in this? Hey, how do we go out and market for this? Hey, how do we go out and get this many impressions, right? That's then going to take people back to the business. How do we go out? How can we partner together in a real estate deal? I was just having that conversation today. In fact, I had a conversation about me investing in, the potential partner coming in and doing some maintenance on the house, things of that nature. So always fly above the sheep. Never flock with those who don't have a purpose in life. And always define your purpose and understand what it is that you want out of life. And please, I'll leave you with this. Define it. Write it down. Look at it. Say it out loud. Read it over and over again. Okay? Until it becomes your reality. Folks, I greatly appreciate your time. And you know what I always say. Lock in with me because I'm locked in with you. And please, like, subscribe, and share. I know there's someone out there that needs this tycoon knowledge. Take care, you all.